Real Business Talk with Tom and Till.
So we read the question, what should first-time entrepreneurs know about HR, so human resources?
Not much.
And there's a lot of things you could know.
Yeah, you could, but I'm thinking of it, what do you need to know?
Depends on the business, right? If you want to start a restaurant, you should know something about it.
Yeah,
like
but you
if
don't
are
need to
planning
know
employ
much.
staff.
I mean, you need to have a process for hiring, firing people, promoting, and dealing with issues. But, you know, when I think of HR, I think of these big corporate businesses as just like, dude, no, like you just need to know a couple of things. You don't need to know much about it. Especially if you're first starting out, I really don't think you need to know that much. Even in a restaurant, yeah, if there's a union and there are some codes that you gotta abide by, then yeah, learn those, but there's not that much. Hiring, I think, keeping good people, like knowing how to do that, promoting them. I feel it's really important that the employees have some control over their outcomes and that they know what's expected of them. And it's easy to keep them if you have a couple of these things in place. And it's simple stuff, but you gotta be consistent with it.
Yeah, I mean, basics are probably treat people well and set expectations right, give doable tasks.
No, I don't know about the treat people well thing. There's been a lot of...
It depends
on
on how you define well.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of bosses that were like passive-aggressive assholes, and they still had the most loyal employees.
True, but if they pay right, then...
No, it wasn't the pay right. They just knew how to wave the carrot good enough, consistently push people to the breaking point, and right before they broke, say something nice or give something nice to them. I've seen a lot of different type of businesses, and the only thing that always I have seen is that however people acted, the bosses, they were consistent in it, right? The worst thing an employee wants is someone that they can't figure out what he's going to be like tomorrow. And that doesn't mean they're mood, right? Because you can have someone with mood swings, but at least every time they know if he's happy, this is how things are going to happen. If he's pissed, this is how it's going to happen. Like, he's consistent in his behaviors overall. And I've seen that the treat people nice, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
All right, that's your view. I think it depends on how you treat nice, or how you define it. But of course, people align to leadership. So if you're a bad boss, let's say, put it like this, people would align to that because you're bad, because they see something nice in there.
Let me put it to you this way, though. Steve Jobs.
He was a super tough guy.
He was a super tough asshole. No one liked him. He made people cry, but yet everyone wanted to work for him.
Yeah, because he had a vision. He was a great leader.
There you go. But he was consistent in it. He was a consistent, hard asshole. Like, he wasn't like a different guy tomorrow than he is today. Like, he was always the way he is. And I think that consistency is really, is important. Like, and the employees should know how their outcome is going to be based on what they're doing. So they know that this stuff is either going to get me promoted or it's going to get me bitched at, right? Like, they should know. And they should know why they would be fired. Like, these things should be really in place already. Like, an employee should know what kind of actions they should take to keep the job if they want to. I feel it's important for having some guidelines and just being consistent.
I think you can see your surplus value as an entrepreneur as someone who goes in a super uncertain space and creates certainty in there.
Yeah, people follow that. People they will latch onto it. People are so out of control with their lives most of the time. They don't know what's going to happen next, what they're going to do, what the world's going to be like, because they get scared by the news, which none of us watch.
Yeah.
And if they find something that can anchor them, which is a consistent person, so whether you're nice or mean to them, but especially if you're paying them and if you're providing them with work like Steve Jobs did, which is exciting, and I mean, there's nothing better on a resume than a job like that. Plus, it's fun because you're doing fun things. Oh, they will stay forever.
it's basically not only work's also meaning, right? It doesn't have to be a mission, a vision, a big vision like Steve Jobs, but it needs to be a purpose where you want to go for work every day. It's still, even if you wouldn't have that, people would probably still come to work because they like your consistency and like the framework there and like the anchor, as you said.
Yeah, so with my employees, they find meaning in the work more than a vision, because the vision is pretty good, but it's nothing like that hasn't been done before in a lot of ways, because I don't like doing businesses like that. But what they do is I make sure that the team is really, I guess, close, right? So I pay them to have a lot of times to hang out together. And I found that if I'm consistent, if the employees know what to expect, and if they're really tight with the team, they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave their friends and have them, you know, they just want to leave their friends. It's like a family. And if you can create this family type of environment, they won't leave.
Yeah. Exactly. I know the point when we employed from the 5th to the 6th programmer. One guy who was there the first, he said, now it's going to be fun because now we can actually reach over the table and ask someone who knows something, an intelligent person.
Yeah.
So people flock together. I think that's a big aspect.
I think that's it.
If you liked what you heard, please leave us a review on iTunes.
They do matter.
Also, come and hang out with us on our website, yourownwayout.com. That's yourownwayout.com. See you soon.